Welcome back to Awakening the Inner Avatar. A new season begins. And with it, a reminder that every time we step into new ground, whether in our world or within ourselves, there are forces that will challenge, tempt, and test us. Today, we enter Book 2, Earth, and we open with the Avatar state. This story invites us to reflect on the raw force of power, the fears that shape us, and what it really means to walk a path of mastery. Because sometimes the power we long for is not the power we're ready to hold. And sometimes the strength we resist is the very one that keeps us whole. The episode begins in a dream. Aang sees himself in the Avatar state. Moments of fierce transformation replaying in his mind. The fire temple, the ocean spirit, the storm of his own becoming. He wakes afraid, shaken, and when he confides in Katara, his fear is simple and honest. The Avatar state isn't a gift, but something that terrifies him. Soon, Master Paku blesses their journey with a few gifts. An amulet for Katara, filled with water from the spirit oasis. Sacred, rare, filled with healing. And he offers Aang scrolls for waterbending. Reminders that tools help, but true mastery still requires a teacher. Already, we see the contrast. The world sees Aang's power as a tool, a weapon, a solution. But Aang sees his power as a weight, and his heart hesitates at what the world asks of him. Elsewhere, Zuko marks the anniversary of his banishment. 3 years since his life was torn away. He admits to Uncle Iroh, "I want my father not to think I'm worthless." This longing, this ache drives him. It is also the wound that blinds him. And then Azula, sharp, merciless, controlled. She commands fire like lightning, her strikes precise, and her words cruel. She plots against her own brother with no hesitation. Where Zuko burns with insecurity, Azula burns with perfection. 2 siblings, 2 wounds, both dangerous in their extremes. At an Earth Kingdom base, General Fong greets the trio with admiration. To him, the Avatar is not a boy. He is a weapon. He praises Aang's victory at the North Pole and insists that Aang is ready to face Fire Lord Ozai now. But there's a catch. General Fong wants to force Aang into the Avatar state. He sees it as the only way to win. Katara and Sokka defend Aang, reminding the general that true mastery comes through the full cycle. Air, water, earth, fire. But Aang hesitates. He feels the guilt of 100 years pressing down. The weight of what was lost. The temptation to skip the journey and leap to the end. And so he agrees to try. Rituals, shocks, stimulants, desperate measures to unlock the Avatar state. But nothing works. Katara pleads with him. There's a better way. Study, practice, discipline. But Aang, still drowning in guilt, can't let go of the shortcut. Meanwhile, Azula sets her trap for Zuko. She tells him that Fire Lord Ozai regrets banishing him, that he wants Zuko home. Uncle Iroh warns, the Fire Lord never changes his mind without reason. But Zuko doesn't listen. He is too hungry for love, too desperate for honor. Soon, the trap is sprung. Soldiers try to bind them as prisoners, but Uncle Iroh fights back. His love fierce, his skill unmatched. Together, they escape. Back at the base, General Fong pushes too far. He threatens Katara's life. And in that moment, Aang's fear transforms into fury. The Avatar state rises. It is raw, uncontrolled. The skies roar. The ground quakes. And destruction spreads. Avatar Roku appears within the chaos and delivers the truth. The Avatar state is a defense mechanism. It is your greatest power, but also your greatest vulnerability. If you are killed in this state, the cycle will end. There will be no more avatars. The cost of rushing power is not just danger. It is annihilation. Let's take a breath. This episode reminds us Aang's attempt to force the Avatar state showed us that shortcuts lead to chaos. Now ask yourself, where in my life am I tempted to skip the process? And what foundation do I still need to honor? Now repeat to yourself, I honor the pace of my growth. Zuko's hunger for love and Azula's obsession with control both flow from pain. Now ask yourself, which of my wounds still drives my choices? And how can I face them with compassion instead of fear? Now repeat to yourself, I release the need to prove my worth. The Avatar state is immense, but also vulnerable. Real strength is not found in raw power. It is found in balance, patience, and trust. Now repeat to yourself, where in my life do I need to choose balance over brute force? Now repeat to yourself, my strength is steady, balanced, and whole. The Avatar state reminds us that every gift comes with responsibility, that rushing power can cost us everything, and that balance, gentle, patient, rooted, is what carries us forward. Thank you for journeying with me today. Until next time, walk gently, grow steadily, and remember, you are already enough. This podcast is a fan-created project intended for educational and spiritual reflection. All clips, references, and content related to Avatar, The Last Airbender, Star Wars, Rebels, and other media are used under fair use for commentary, analysis, and transformative discussion. All rights to original shows, characters, and music belong to their respective creators and copyright holders.